Welcome to the Empower Women Show with Jane Trimble. Our mission is to empower and elevate women in the community by sharing their story and showcasing their business. Today I have Misha Semilet with me from Be Aligned Studios. Misha, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming today.
I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah. So why don't you share a little bit about who you are and what you do?
So I grew up in a really small town in Saskatoon, actually, with under 1,000 people.
Wow.
Yeah, I was born into like entrepreneurship. Both of my parents had businesses.
Yeah.
So straight into that.
Yeah.
Grew up with it around me and was super excited to eventually be a part of that world. Wasn't sure what side I was going to lean towards. And my mom actually was the one who had a spa for 20 years.
She had a spa for 20 years?
20 years.
Amazing.
Yeah, she
Okay.
started out in like an old home actually.
Yeah.
And then expanded eventually to a different town beside us.
Okay.
And then I got to kind of feel that out. But then of course being like a daughter of somebody who does that industry, I ran away really heavy from it and I wanted to avoid it. And especially I had my own like body dysmorphia issues and beauty issues growing up. So that world was nothing. I did not want to be a part of that at all. And then all of a sudden I got drugged back into it and I had some really cool opportunities and I was living in Vancouver and then got brought back here. And then that's when I got really into more of the aesthetic side of things. And I was a part of like the medical aesthetics. So more of the heavy lasers and Botox and that kind of thing.
Okay.
Which eventually was just not what I love to do and what I love to see because I realized how much more it built up on that body dysmorphia and those mental health things that I had going on. So then I really took a path and took a turn and wanted to do more of a holistic, spiritual, grounding, really unearthing people and making them realize that they don't need to do all these crazy enhancements. It's a choice if they want to. I have nothing against that, but I really wanted to lean into that side of the natural and teaching women how to really embrace that and bring back that natural state of aesthetic for everyone. So that's what I get to do now.
Oh my God. I love it.
Thank you.
So much.
Yeah.
It's almost like you were enhancing or accentuating beauty that a superficial beauty before, and now it is a real authentic core beauty that you're trying to accentuate now. Am I hearing that right?
Yeah. Yeah. It was really interesting. I had lip filler and Botox and cheek filler, and I actually had implants. And in the last 4 years, I've had all that dissolved and removed from my body.
Wow.
Yeah. So the last step was getting my implants removed, and now I feel very much in home and back home with myself. And it's a beautiful journey to take down. Wow. All of that. Yeah. That kind of stuff, and really embrace it and really show people that they can do those things and change their body, but then come back home to themselves and feel amazing and beautiful and grounded and aligned with the journey that they need to have.
This is so beautiful. What a powerful mission.
Thank you.
I'm so glad to have you on the show.
Thank you.
I called into the studio, to your studio when I was last in Saskatoon, and I was like, who runs this? I need to talk to her because I love it all, even the branding and the aesthetic and everything of it all. Like your message is coming from a deep place in you, and it has manifested outwardly into this beautiful product and service too.
Thank you.
You know, there's no disconnect. It's very, very beautiful. Do you want to share a story maybe of, you know, powerful experiences you maybe had with a customer? I mean, you shared your own story, which I'm sure is actually maybe we want to talk about that, your own powerful transformation or.
Yeah, we can do a mix of them. I think I'm super lucky to have the clientele and the people who walk through my door. And for a while there, I was doing like bookings as my books would open for a minute to 2 minutes and people would book in for 3 months and that would be it. And then I kind of scaled it back. And now I get to be very selective with it and choose those people who align with me. But now it's come into a point where the people who are walking in, I know I need to see. And it's people who want to transition out of that really heavy medical side, or they're having dysmorphia with beauty kind of stuff. And it's beautiful to get to see clients really slow down on everything and realize that they don't need as much. They don't need 20 steps. They don't need all these things. They can really slow it back down. And getting to see young females and older females who are already learned those behaviors, unlearn all those things is one of the most amazing things. And I know I've got to do that for myself. So watching clients go through it now, it's beautiful to watch people really understand themselves more and more. Yeah.
So amazing and profound. What do you think is the biggest myth surrounding beauty with women?
I would say it's definitely we can't have fine lines and wrinkles. We can't have laugh lines. We're not supposed to have pigmentation. All these things. We're supposed to cover and conceal and look like porcelain dolls. And I think the beauty industry has very much idolized women who have those things or have enhanced themselves to look like that.
Yeah.
And the unlearning that we're getting to have with that is really cool. And realizing that that's not the way that things are supposed to be. That's not the natural form of life. That's not the way your face is supposed to express. And I think having it frozen and having things pulled back so tight and doing all these things to augment that is really taking on a mental health side of things that people aren't realizing what's happening. So I think the myth of having this like beautiful, pure looking face is really getting taken down now, which I think is one of my favorite things, is that you don't need all these enhancements and you don't need all of these things to be beautiful. It's really the internal work that has to get done.
And let's speak on to, I'd love you to share a bit more on the mental health side of things, the relationship between beauty and how you see yourself, love or not love yourself, and the mental health. Like, do you want to speak to that a bit?
Yeah. I myself has went through really, really intense mental health stages in my life. And that's actually why the studio got opened, is I was put on a mental health leave from the job in the clinic I was working at. And I was on it for about 4.5 months. And all of a sudden, I would sit in front of a mirror for hours on end, contemplating what to do with life and contemplating if I wanted to stay or leave or what was going to happen. And all of a sudden, I had this vision of doing a studio, and I had this intense feeling of, oh, this is what I need to do. And I had no money, no nothing. So somehow we opened a studio, and that's how it began. And I always tell people, I was at a place with absolutely nothing. And I just knew I needed to share what I was going through for people. And then I think it's the mental health side. If people don't realize how much mental health impacts skin and how much your skin will impact your mental health.
Wow.
Yeah. It's really cool to get to see people transition from that. And even if they're going through like severe acne, things going on, psoriasis, eczema, and it's exposed to the public, they get to really start to love that journey of healing and learning about themselves, and that it's still beautiful to have that texture and that redness and that inflammation, even though they might not feel it. It's always that journey to go through that's going to be worth it at the end for them, whether it's going to be fully healed or not, or whether it's the acceptance that they get halfway through that. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing to work on his skin. Yeah, I love it.
So powerful.
Thank you.
There's so many questions I want to ask from here. So if someone wanted to get in touch with you and start their journey, before I even go into that, I feel like on my personal journey, my own inner journey, and my journey with my skin too, healing properly took a long time. So there was a lot of quick fixes offered to me, which I tried.
Yep.
Didn't work. And they were all quick fixes. When I finally got into the reality of how actually it's a long journey. Yeah. So you want to speak to the timing of it all? Like how?
Yeah. I think a lot of people think that they can take a pill or do a peel or do something like that and have it quick for them. But we all know that every quick fix usually comes with something in the end that's not going to be ideal in the situation, or it's going to be harmful in that situation. Where we have to learn that healing is a slow process over time. So the slower it is, the better it's going to be for you. I always tell people it's not about the end point, it's about the journey to get us there. Because you can go months and months and months and still be working on one thing. But if you're doing just a topical slap something on and you're not working on that internal or that mental health side of things, where you're just constantly negative self-thoughts, it's going to manifest into something physical eventually for people. So it does. So I always tell people, take their time. It's not about like the end point, it's about the journey there. And although it's going to take us a long time, it's going to be worth it in the end, because you're going to have way more acceptance with what you've been through, way more acceptance of your skin, way more love for what your skin and your body has went through that whole entire journey that you're going through, because that end point is going to show all of what you've just overcome. It
is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wow. We're like our own, we're we are a manifestation of everything that's going on the inside, aren't we? Yeah. If somebody is listening or watching and they want to start the journey but maybe feel overwhelmed or don't know where to start, what would you say?
I always tell people, find a practitioner, find the person that understands you the best, that will slow things down for you, that will explain every step and every stage, who's not just going to push you to make sales. And because the way that I run the studio and the way that the studio's ran is it's not something that's about making money. It wasn't built on making money. It was built from having no money. And I always tell people, if you're getting sold packages, if you're getting sold treatments, if you're getting sold 10 steps, that's too much. You'll never understand it. You'll never accept it, and you'll never do it. You're going to be overwhelmed with that all, because you're going to think, now I need to keep this up, and that's already overwhelming with what people are dealing with. So find somebody that will break it down slow for you, that will explain every step, and isn't just going to push you out the door. Is going to take the time to sit down and explain things and talk to you about every single thing that's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how does somebody find you, and where can they find out more about your business and what you do?
Yeah, we're on Instagram and our website, and then we're located on Broadway in the heart of Saskatoon.
I love it.
Right in the middle with a big BE on it.
Yeah.
So we're pretty hard to miss.
Yeah, it's beautiful, and the store is beautiful. I really love it. Yeah. And what's the handle on the socials?
It'll be Be Aligned Studios, and then my personal with all my facial and stuff is the Soul Facialist.
The Soul Facialist.
The Soul Facialist.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, Misha, thank you so much for coming on the show today. It's been a pleasure and an honor to get to know you and hear about your journey and what you do. Long may it continue and be extremely successful for you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for tuning in to the Empower Women show here at Rogers TV, where we empower and elevate women by sharing their story and showcasing their business. Until next time. Ready, Misha?
Yes.
Queens
Belong on the thrones. Let's put them there.